Wannabeez.
Let's go!
Give me the old face.
Give me that old face, guy. Fucking milk me, baby.
Yes.
Coffee, milk me.
Yes, coffee, milk me, please.
I'm reading Watchmen. Like, do you think a fourth grader can comprehend Watchmen? Get real.
And you know who's sponsoring the podcast today?
Is it fucking Mama Llama?
It's Mama Llama, guy.
Oh my God.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Wannabeez. I'm Justin Kyle. I'm here with two buddies. John, say hi.
Hello.
And Nick Gula.
Let's go!
It's important that Gula is the only one that gets, well, you said your last name, but it's important that Gula is the only one that gets his last name said every time, because that's all you say. That's all you say is Gula. You see him on the street, it's Gula. You see him flying around in the sky with the rest of the pelicans, it's Gula. Actually, you know what? I think that's a great icebreaker story to start this out. This was one of the favorite things I had when I met you. Why do they call you the Pelican?
Okay, I got the moniker of being the Pelican because I can drink a beer in one sip. So, like, the whole... I could take from the top a 20-ounce, I don't know, main lunch thing, and I'll take that just in one go and take the whole beer down.
Like, are you shotgunning the beer, or are you just guzzling it?
Guzzling it, just open my back of my throat and let that thing just wiggle down.
Why did they call you the Pelican?
I'm glad you asked both of those questions.
So, you know what, a pelican, right? It kind of like looks like it's fucking swallowing stuff. Yeah. It's like, that's kind of how it looks like, I guess. It looks like it when I do it, so it's like...
Can you do that noise again?
What? The guy...
Yeah.
the hawk tour?
My wife was part pelican, I didn't know.
I think all our wives are part pelican.
When we met on the cruise, it was like after a day of hanging out with Nick, and he just like, I remember you and I were in the elevator. He just goes, "By the way, they call me the Pelican guy." I was like, what?
And just ding, doors open, just walks out.
So when we're sitting there and it's like last call, guy, and we got to go do something or we got to go like a thing, they're like they don't even like, I have a full beer sitting there and they're like, you got to Pelican that shit, guy, and I just fucking gone.
I asked the same question when he was telling me that story first. I'm like, there's a distinction between shotgunning and straight up, like, he's taking oxygen and gulps in all. So that's very impressive.
Together, all together, all in one motion.
I can shotgun. I can do that. But
I can do that too.
Yeah, not without like a ginormous, like, cataclysmic burp afterwards. But when if I was to do it his way, I would have to stop at least 4 or 5 times and burp.
Oh, this reminds me of at work we had a milk drinking contest, and it was like four of us, and I don't know why we decided to do this. It was just like, we were just sitting around one day, we're like, I bet I can drink more milk than you. And then it just snowballed into a whole contest. So there was like 4 of us, I believe, just standing in a circle. We had everybody else that worked there come outside, and we had just a gallon of milk. And we all started chugging at the same time, guys.
Wait, separate gallons?
Separate gallons.
Okay.
Well, okay. All right. But it was actually, to be historically accurate.
Yeah, please.
It was 2 half gallons. One person got a full gallon, and I just thought it would be funny if one person just got the full jug and everybody else had. So, like, I think I got like a halfway through the half gallon, so a quarter gallon down before I started fucking throwing up. It was so much milk, and it was like a hot summer day. We were just pelicaning that shit, just guzzling it down. It was disgusting.
You threw it all up?
Not all of it. Just like it was just like enough to like kick me out of the contest.
Oh, okay. I was
a little like burp up.
I was hoping you were like painting the sidewalk white.
I really wish I wish it would have been. It would have like saved me so much pain and misery later on. Because like I was laying on the floor of the factory in like a corner, just like shivering, just like fucking getting cold sweats. It was fucked up.
Like, you ever seen those veterinary videos where they have to like flush out dogs' stomachs? So they make them drink a bunch of water and then they gag it, and it's just like one shoot, just. That's what I envision you with milk.
Oh, dude, I wish. I'm more of a dry heaver, so I'll sit there like if I'm like really drunk or something, I'll just go. And nothing comes out. It
I
hurts
hate
so
that.
bad.
I hate that. We had an episode on my podcast, Caps Off, where we talked about our favorite ways to puke. And ultimately mine is, I'll say it any day. It's like anytime, if you're able to puke after drinking a bunch of cold water, that's the best. Because it just comes out very smooth and it comes out almost the same way it went in. So that's preferable. What was the grandiose thing about drinking all the milk?
My friend Travis, he was just talking about how much of like a milk whore he was. Like he just drinks milk like fucking crazy. Like he's like a 50-year-old fucking stoner deadhead guy, and he was just telling me one day that he just drinks milk. Like he drinks like a gallon of milk a day. He drinks so much fucking milk.
That's a lot of milk.
That's what I said. I'm like, there's no way. So he's like, I bet I could drink more milk with you. I'm like, fuck you, because I also am a milk whore. I love milk. So it became like a contest, and then other people wanted to get involved, and then we had to sit down and get like, all right, are we doing whole milk? Are we doing 1%? Like, what are we doing? We had to get all the rules down, you know?
It's such a amazing waste of time.
It's awesome. We got paid for it.
It's awesome. Yeah, that's the best way to waste time.
We were going to do like other food-based challenges. Like we were going to do like the classic hot dog. I thought of like a taco eating challenge, but they're all hard shell tacos, and you have to partner up with somebody. If I was eating it, I'd have to get a partner. Somebody would hold the taco in their hands, and I would just have to eat it like I was eating pussy or something.
Didn't know my wife was part taco. That one didn't even make sense.
It just turned into basically just a pussy eating contest, and everybody backed out. I was so bummed.
Oh wow!
I just think that would have been. Yeah, they were like, no, that's too far. That's too far.
Are you a big milk drinker, Nick?
I'll down some milk. Especially if you've got aristocrat coffee milk, and you guys don't know fuck all about coffee milk.
You're absolutely right. I have no idea what that is. What is that?
Exactly. I knew.
It's
No,
gross.
you don't understand. Coffee milk.
It's a goddamn abomination.
Coffee milk
to
is not the same as coffee, right? It's like sugary. They got all kinds of sugar in it, and you can only get it up here. You can't get it anywhere in the world. It's kind of like linguiça. When I say linguiça, you guys have no fucking clue.
No.
It's a Portuguese sausage that they make around here. They make linguiça, and they make chouriço, right? The hot stuff is usually chouriço, and then the linguiça. It's a sausage. Fucking amazing, guy. But you can't get it any other place in the entire fucking world. This is the only place, this area is the only place you can get it in the entire fucking world. Even in Portugal, they don't have fucking linguiça and chouriço.
Wait. So, yeah, how does it make it authentic where you come from?
So
there's way more Puerto Ricans in Massachusetts. Puerto Rico, that place is done. It's mass now.
Hey, so we have this big fucking bridge, right, that goes to Fall River. Why is the Braga Bridge the longest bridge in the world? Because it goes from Seekonk to Portugal. But everybody else in the entire world is like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
Everybody listen to this podcast.
When anybody from New England is gonna or from Massachusetts listen to the podcast, they're gonna go, oh shit, and they're gonna know because that's what we do.
I was gonna say, like, I was born in Vermont. I grew up between Vermont and New Hampshire, and now I'm in Maine. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I still don't know what coffee milk is.
That's crazy.
Okay, coffee milk. Aristocrat coffee milk, right? It's like a syrupy drink that you add to it. It's kind of like the chocolate milk, the fucking syrup stuff you add to milk to make a chocolate milk. It's just coffee milk, but you can only get it here. It's the only way I can explain it. The fucking company is in Massachusetts. It didn't go far, but it went far in Massachusetts. So everybody out there, Massachusetts, what up?
So am I adding it to the coffee or the milk?
The milk.
Oh, okay. So I'm turning milk into coffee instead of putting milk in my coffee. I'm turning my milk into coffee.
It's a flavor. It's a flavor. Yes. And it kind of doesn't even talk. It doesn't even taste like coffee. It's kind of like a sugary.
Oh.
Have you ever had like coffee cake or coffee ice cream? It's sort of like that.
Okay. So does it like retain the color? Is it still white when you're done with it?
It's kind of like a brownish white.
Oh, it's bordering like coffee.
It's lighter than. It almost looks like
coffee with too much milk in it.
Yeah, like a lot of milk. Like
coffee milk.
That,
if I had a cup of coffee and I poured some milk in it and it started to turn lighter, I'd be like, oh, I like coffee. And then if I poured way too much milk in it, I'm like, oh, you don't want to drink that. That's coffee milk. Just pour it out, Get another one. And somebody's like, no,
that's how you're supposed to drink it. That's the way you're supposed to drink it.
Yeah.
You know why?
There's money in this.
Hey, we're fucking insane in Massachusetts.
Yeah. Now, all we got to do is tell people, I bet you never heard of coffee milk. And then they'll think it's like an authentic thing. They don't even have it in Puerto Rico.
What about you, John? Do you have any like indigenous drinks or food, or are you in like Indonesia, whatever the fuck it is?
I'm in Iowa. I'm in the Midwest. If you know where the Mississippi River is, if they taught you in school that there's a line of states that run down the middle of this country that make a shape of a cartoon man holding a frying pan, I'm along that Mississippi River, somewhere around the chin. If he's like looking to the east. If you've ever heard that description of how the states look on the map. Yeah, funny. Next time you're looking, look for that guy. Some people say he's holding fried chicken, like Kentucky is like shaped like fried chicken. Some people say it's a frying pan.
I've seen that.
Interesting.
You're not alone.
Okay, thank
You're
God.
not alone there, John. I got you.
God.
I got you.
To be fair, I didn't do well in school, so I wasn't listening half the time.
You were sick the week they talked about this, and it never
I had a earbud in,
had
and I was
repercussions for years, and a ripple effect that you never recovered from.
Never even heard it. Where was that again?
Iowa. Yeah. So many people. We went to Jersey. And so many people kept saying like Ohio and Idaho. It was so funny. It was awesome. I was like, you know what? Maybe I can live in all these states.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Who the fuck's gonna know anyway?
They're like, oh, Hawaii sounds great.
Hawaii. Do you have any like what's like a staple?
A staple, gosh. Let me think. Usually like fair food. I think the Midwest people claim fair food more than anything. So anything like deep fried on a stick. I'm probably dropping the ball on this really hard. Mostly because I just I'm probably not considered a classic Midwesterner. But Casey's Pizza, that doesn't count. But if you're anywhere from the Midwest, you know what? Okay, so there's these gas stations. They're called Casey's General Store, and they have, like many gas stations, have a hot case with food in it, but they are most particularly known for their very, very subpar. I bet Walt Flanagan would love the pizza, but it's extremely basic, subpar pizza, and it's just always, they got slices always ready in the rack, and you just walk up and get $5 in gas.
It'd be like Cumbies for us, I guess.
Yeah.
What'd you just call me?
Like it would be like a Cumberland Farms or something. Like
okay. Oh, yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there's probably a million things in the Midwest, and I'm totally not thinking of what they are. But the Casey's are very well known. You ask anybody out here, they're like, And I actually doubted that for years until I became like a somewhat blue collar worker. It's such a redneck thing to like hold Casey's under this under this like limelight. And then I started regularly needing gas stations, like working out of town and working here and there in these places, and then not being able to have like a full lunch break. Or like when I was a roofer, I used to be like so devoted to being like, we're going to get this shit done as early in the day as we can, so I'm not trying to spend too long on my lunch. So I'm just going to run, grab a slice of pizza or a cheeseburger, which are also like weirdly mass produced and just like thrown into a hot case. And they're some of the best burgers I've had in my entire life.
Yeah, sometimes like gas station food is fucking awesome.
It has no right to be.
Yeah.
Disgustingly awesome, I would say.
So did you guys see Deadpool Wolverine?
Oh yeah.
I did not, but I'm ready for every single. Lay it on me, man.
So you don't care.
I don't. I'm like, I've totally taken Q's approach to everything in the landscape, which is just, I don't care. Just tell me what happened. I'm sure it was great. If I didn't see it with my own eyes, then it's like I had the opportunity.
Let's first of all remind the listeners, if you don't want to fucking hear this, shut the fucking podcast off, or by the time it's dropped, you should have seen Deadpool and Wolverine anyways by that fucking time, because that fucking movie is awesome. So by the time you hear this podcast and you haven't watched it, it's your fucking problem. It's not ours. Let's go.
Nick Gula for president.
Well said. Let's go.
Let's start out easy
Hold
on
Let's
this
just
one.
give like a non-spoiler. What would you give it out of like 1 out of 10? What would you give it?
An 11.
This fucking
Really?
movie was off the chains, guy.
It fucking reset the MCU like no other. I thought Disney was gonna fuck this movie up. They just said, let him cook, and that was it. Like it to me, it was just fan service after fan service.
See, okay, so you guys might not be wrong, but let me put out this little disclaimer. I remember Trevor and I, not to call back to Caps Off, but Trevor and I, my co-host on my first podcast, we did an episode right after Endgame came out, and it was like 30 minutes of just absolutely knob slobbery over this movie. And then when I listen back, I'm like, it was a good movie. I mean, like, yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, I was like, I really enjoyed it, but like, I'm not like, what is wrong with me in this recording? Like, I just witnessed the birth of Jesus or something.
But that's how I felt while watching the movie. Like
I'm glad.
It took me back to like a certain time in my childhood. Like I was watching it, and certain scenes reminded me of like my father and some of my buddies, and like specific times in my life. This movie just brought it all back.
Just like relating back to like moments you had.
Yeah, or just like there's one scene in particular where, like, we'll probably get into it, but there's one scene in particular that really just like, wow. Like, I kind of wish I was seeing this movie with my dad, because he would lose his fucking mind right now.
I don't admit this a lot, but I weep during this movie. That's how fucking good it was. I wept for this movie. I got to a point where at the end of the movie that I was sitting there and I'm like, I have fucking tears in my eyes. This is so fucking good.
I can't fault you either. When we were driving away from Airport Plaza, right when I passed that sign, I welled up like a motherfucker.
I did too.
It hit me.
I did too. I was like, fuck, it's over. We did it.
Hey, do you right now?
But,
how about that first scene in 617 when they're on 617 and the what do they call it? The divine, the sacred timeline. And you're in Happy Hogan's office, and you look back, and then all these like little Easter eggs pulling back from all kinds of all the fucking movies, and it's just sitting there, and you're looking at it, and you're like, oh shit, that's that. Oh shit, that's that.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's that.
The scene is for John, it's Deadpool. He's in like a button-up shirt. He's in a suit, whatever, and
He's
he's
going
like
to an interview at
interviewing.
Walmart. Let's just say
Yeah.
that.
He's like interviewing for like the Avengers, and like Happy Hogan is interviewing him, and like Deadpool wants to be a hero, and he wants to be one of the best, and but dude, we kind of skipped over the entire intro, like the main credits of this movie. Deadpool digging up Logan's grave from the end of Logan, at like where he was buried with like the X and stuff. He's digging him up, and it's just his adamantium skeleton. And Deadpool's like fucking like
He's like, fuck.
the TVA agents. They show up and they start like they want to like arrest Deadpool because he's like hopping timelines and shit. And dude, Deadpool just breaks ribs off and just starts using them as like throwing stars.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
He uses like his leg as like nunchucks at one point. Like he's like
the adamantium
Yeah.
limbs and shit you're talking
Yeah,
about?
he's
Okay,
just
okay.
like-
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he
just like
starts throwing them.
dismantling.
Starts using
Yeah,
his
oh,
dots and shit. And then all of a sudden, he grabs the fucking claws, right? And he puts them on like fucking he tapes them on his fucking hands and just starts fucking people up, guy. It was so badass. That opening scene was fucking pretty fucking badass.
And then
That
yeah,
sounds
he goes
pretty
then
fantastic.
to interview with Happy Hogan, and then he's sort of given up on the whole hero thing. He's like a used car salesman now.
So let's paint the scene for you. What he lives in Logan's timeline, right? Like his world, his Earth is where Logan kind of was. That Wolverine, Logan, and from what the TVA is talking about is the person that like held everything together, held that timeline together. And when he died, it just kind of like wrecked that whole universe was fucked at that point because it didn't have that one person that like kept it all together. So it was all kind of, and they were gonna the guy wanted to like prune that situation. So that's why Deadpool was kind of like trying to find a Wolverine. It was to try to bring back that person that kept everything together. Just so
And it was sort
knows.
of it's a metaphor for the entire Fox studio, like X-Men movies and the Fantastic like that's that timeline that's coming to an end because obviously like Disney now owns the rights.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
So like the whole universe is coming to an end soon because like Logan was the key to it because he was throughout all the X-Men movies. He's the thing that holds it all together. So now that he's like dead, that universe is dying. So Deadpool has to save that universe.
It's where his wife is. It's where all with all the kids. What's the guy's name for the taxi? With the guy's taxi?
Dopenheimer.
Blind Al. You call her Blind Al? Yeah, she's blind and she's Al. She's Blind Al.
But dude, it was like the whole movie was a love letter to all of those Fox movies, guy. All of those like
Yeah, definitely.
non-Disney produced Marvel movies. It was a love letter to all of it. So like at one point he's going from one universe to another and he's looking for the right Logan. So we're getting all these like Wolverine variants. First one was the funniest one because you think like, oh, this is easy. He just found Hugh Jackman because he's just sitting at a bar and he kind of like looks over his shoulder.
Yep.
He's like, "What do you want, bub?" And he jumps off the bar stool and it's like comic accurate Wolverine.
3 feet tall. Yeah, 3 feet fucking tall.
And like just jacked. Deadpool's like, "Oh, comic accurate
That's
Wolverine."
funny. How tall is he actually in the comics? I didn't know he was. Is it comically small?
Yeah, it's like Danny DeVito small. Like he's tiny.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, we got comic accurate Wolverine for the first one, and then it just jumped. And like, if you close your eyes, John, and you think of any iconic Wolverine cover or suit that he has worn throughout the comics, guy, that was all the variations that we got. We got fucking.
They just kept going with it.
Every variation was like, oh my god, there's the brown suit. and he's about to fight Hulk. Holy fuck!
No shit.
Yeah, like they did the thing where the claws came out, and it was Hulk's reflection in his claws.
Oh,
dude,
that's pretty cool.
They did every fucking thing that you could be like, oh, I want them to do that, but no, they do, dude. That comic where he's like crucified on the X, and he's just dead bodies everywhere. We got that. We got fucking.
Oh man.
We got the let's get into that because I want to get into that. What do you think that looks like? Apocalypse's world, like Apocalypse just destroyed the whole fucking world, and he's the only one left, and he's sitting there on the cross. That's my take on that. It was like Apocalypse kind of like just destroyed everything, and he was the last to be. Everybody was dead but him, and he kind of like just like, you know, which we probably might be able to see. That they might be alluding to something like that because I'm getting that they're going to do an Apocalypse X-Men type movie. Maybe they're alluding to that, but I thought that was cool. Like that was the only thing. The other thing I thought was very cool was they brought in, and he was the only, I believe he's the only Deadpool that wasn't Deadpool. It wasn't Ryan Reynolds. Other than Ryan, all the other variants was kind of like Ryan Reynolds, but Henry Cavill.
Yeah, Henry Cavill came in. You're talking Hugh Jackman, not Ryan Reynolds. All the variants were like Hugh Jackman for Wolverine.
Oh yeah.
So like everything for Wolverine was Hugh Jackman except for Henry Cavill. There was a Henry Cavill cameo. And he was like working on a motorcycle or something, and he kind of turns around, and Deadpool's like, "Oh my God, the legends are true!" Like,
I see, I get it.
And they broke the fourth wall on that one. Was like, "Oh, we got you." Like, we're not like the people down the street, kind of like, like fucking going, "Fuck you" to DC. How could you do this to us? Kind of like thing. And he was like. There was a big fuck you to Warner Brothers.
It was.
One of the variants was the claws came out, but they were only little. They were tiny claws. And he was like, "You having some performance issues?"
What I love about that is originally when they were talking, like when they were hinting at doing.
And speaking about performance issues, our podcast is brought to you now.
Oh, yeah, by Blue Chew.
Like every other fucking podcast in the world.
Promo code be cool. So yeah, no, but what initially when they were talking about doing like a multiverse of Spider-Man, and they were talking about bringing in the different Spider-Mans from the other movies, my first knee-jerk reaction, I loved it. Now when I got to thinking about it for a while, I was like, that's kind of stupid, and why does that make any sense as to like other actors being... They're all Peter Parker. They're all white, teenage-esque men, and their origins aren't all that different. So it's like, why would the universe or the multiverse be based off of like cinematic films and shit like that? But when I see it play out more and more, the more Marvel does it, the more I'm like, all right, I get it. Like, so with the way they're doing with Cavill, it's like it's very pleasing to the brain. And I'm not gonna lie, the Spider-Man No Way Home was great. Chef's kiss. I loved it. Fan service all the way, unapologetically, but they did it very well, I think.
I want to talk about fan service real quick. I want to get on my little soapbox real quick because I've been seeing some like I don't like all the fan service and cameos. It's ruining storytelling. I'm like, bitch. Marvel Comics has been around for fucking almost like 75 fucking like they've been around forever, guy. This is modern mythology. Why the fuck wouldn't they reference the other movies that came out?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you want, like, when you're reading a Marvel comic and they're referencing like Captain America and the Fantastic Four, you're not thinking this is fan service. You're like, that's the universe that they live in. It's not that they're like, oh yeah, we got to get Captain America mentioned in this comic because we need sales. I mean, it is that a little bit, but at the same time, like, wouldn't you want it to like?
We're gonna write the Bible too, but God's not in it. That's the hook. God's not in it at all. And they're like, what?
don't you want these big like multiverse movies to like include all that stuff? And it could be done horribly bad. It could be done awful. We all saw the Flash movie. It was fucking shit. Like it could all
I didn't
go
see
that
the Flash movie.
You didn't miss much, but like it was fucking horse shit.
Well, I don't give a fuck about those people. I'm gonna say this. I will say this as a fucking comic book fan. Okay, I got the beatings and the picked on and all of that stuff. So yeah, I want fucking fan service. I want Marvel to jerk me off while fucking licking my asshole, okay? Because I deserve it. Because I went through all of that stuff and I did all of that stuff, and it wasn't cool to be a comic book person, okay? To like comics, to go to Comic-Con and do that type of stuff. It wasn't cool then. So, bitch, it wasn't that shit. It's not for you because you're not a fucking true fan.
I cannot speak to that exactly, but I totally understand what you're saying because I was raised in the world where it was basically, if you didn't know the origin of like Tony Stark or Captain America, you aren't paying attention to the literature. So, or like Star Wars, it's just all common knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, for me growing up, it was also it was like in between like getting beat up and being like the cool kid, I guess. Like there would be other people that were into comics and they were cool, but they were also sort of like the outcasts too at the same time. Like I thought they were cool. I got called like retarded and like all this other crazy shit by teachers for like reading comics on my free time. Like, what do you got, like a 4th grade reading level? You can't read books. You need pictures.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I heard all that shit, guy. I'm like, you don't even know what I'm reading Watchmen. Like, do you think a 4th grader can comprehend Watchmen? Get real.
No, not only that, I mean, these stories were given life by Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and all of these fantastic people. Why the fuck wouldn't you want that in, especially since we've lost Stan Lee? Shout out to Stan Lee.
Shout out Stan Lee.
He was doing things that weren't even comprehended at that time, right? And now it's coming back to that point. Like X-Men. I mean, X-Men is a metaphor for the LGBTQ fucking community, right?
I have heard that said before.
I think X-Men could be painted in a broader stroke and just say like it's for anybody who's trying to fight for equal rights, whether it be like immigrants, whether it be like the LGBTQ community, African Americans, like anybody who has to like fight every day to live in a society that doesn't accept them. Like that's the X-Men right there.
Shout out Malcolm X.
Yeah, if you look at like the Magneto character, he's a child.
My favorite X-Men.
He's a child of like the Holocaust and like the absolute worst case scenario of this sort of like bigotry and just ignorance and like just all of this hate, this like that's the worst side of it. So that's why he's totally against the fucking humans, because he's like, I've seen them at their worst, I know what they're capable of, fuck these people, and like Professor X is trying to like find the balance, because like humans are stupid and they don't like what they don't understand. So, like, but yeah, it was always about just like fighting for equal rights. And it came out in a time of like segregation and like the Jim Crow era, and it was a pretty politically driven comic strip at the time. It always has been. Without
really leaning into it, right? They didn't really lean into it and be like, "This is where it is." They just kind of wrote these stories where, it kind of felt like it was contemporary, right? And it's still contemporary to this day. So, like, I don't know. I love it. I love this fucking movie.
You said, end quote, greatest movie ever made. I think that's what you said.
No. Greatest movie in a long time.
Oh, in a long time.
It totally reset the MCU. If you were going to make a movie to move on to a different And we'll bring this up. I mean, the fucking Kang dynasty, that was a fucking nightmare because the guy's fucking beating his fucking wife now or whatever, his girlfriend. And so they kind of had to be like, oh, well,
reset.
They were like Hillary Clinton during Benghazi. Fucking protocol zero. Protocol fucking zero. Holy shit, guy. We got a fucking Omega level fucking situation going on.
Somebody get Robert Downey Jr. on the line.
Somebody, we got to bring back fucking Iron Man. And if you don't know what we're talking about, he has been given the honor, and I think it's going to be fucking awesome, and I'm so for this, to be Victor Von Doom in the new movies. Doctor Doom in the new movies. So,
which I think could work. I think could work, and I think Deadpool sets it up so that it could work. And also like Loki and like all the variants and like the multiverse is like it's happening. And like the next two Avengers movies are like it's gonna be like Secret Wars and like all this other crazy shit. So it's like I honestly think it would have been nice to get like a proper quote unquote Doctor Doom before we got the RDJ Doctor Doom, but I think it could work in the thing that they're doing. But let's get back. I want to get back to Deadpool Wolverine real quick because I just want to top it off by telling John like the people who showed up to be in this movie, guy. Dude,
yeah,
there were more. They weren't even cameos. I couldn't even say because they were like characters. In this movie,
they're characters, and they didn't even show. A lot of them, they didn't even show who the fucking person was. I'm just gonna give you an example. Lady Deadpool. They didn't show. They didn't tell. They didn't. She didn't come out of the mask. She just had the Uzis like she always did, and she just came out. Ba 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 ba. Okay, that's the classic Lady Deadpool, right?
That's the thing that this movie really respected was like the mask. Deadpool was in the mask 98% of the movie. He took it off once in a while.
The one thing that brings to mind to me is PETA. When they came in at the end and all the Deadpools are kind of like fighting against Wolverine and Deadpool. Heat Pool, as he calls them. Comes out and they all stop. All the Deadpool stop what they're doing and they're like, Pete. They run up to Pete. They're like fucking. He's like the cool kid in class, and it like everybody knew who Peter was and shit like that. I got a Peter on my fucking world. I got a Peter on my world, and they were totally
awesome.
Yeah, I love Pete, and they just totally fucking forgot what they were doing.
That's
and it
hilarious.
was like oh, okay, now we're doing this. We're being with Pete. Pete's awesome.
So the first big cameo or like first big appearance from like a past actor / character, you're zipped from the TVA, and they basically get thrown into like what they call like the trash chute. Like they just get put where all these bad variants they all get put in this one place.
Kind of like a pruning. So I think that's where like when you prune somebody out of a timeline before. Oh yeah. So if you've seen Loki, that that dragon type thing with the smoke kind of eating the that world. That's where they were. They were put in like that purgatory to be like kind of blipped out of existence.
Okay, so who do you think shows up? The first person, it blew everybody's minds in the theater. Fucking flipped their lids, guy. So it's like this covered guy. He's wearing a hood. He's got like blue sleeves. He's got like this big brown like poncho covering his face. He jumps off of this tower. Major superhero landing. Like this guy is a big deal. And he removes his hood. It's fucking Chris Evans, guy.
Captain America?
No.
Johnny Storm.
No.
Johnny fucking Storm.
Oh,
From
okay.
Fantastic Four. Yeah.
Flame on.
He's gonna say Avengers Assemble, and the guy goes flame on. He just fucking flies up on the fuck. Dude, it was amazing.
Is he clean shaven?
He's got a little scruffy beard.
Little scruffy. Okay, that's interesting.
He's like,
I like it.
It's
a
little scruffy.
He's been in there
That's cool.
He's been in there since those movies kind of like got fucking
like 2004 or something.
They literally had a 20th Century Fox in the desert. You like go by, it's like that symbol was in the
like
desert.
The
it was kind of like just like post-apocalyptic, like it was like that. Yeah.
Everybody who showed up, dude, was part of Fox movies.
Yeah,
like they started off with Johnny Storm, then they had like some of the original X-Men. They all showed up
from the X-Men.
Fucking Sabretooth
from X-Men 1, the guy with the big fucking eyebrows, eyebrows.
Like
they put him in the big fucking unibrow. So let's set that up. Let's set that up though, because at this point, fucking Deadpool and Wolverine are fighting their fucking thing, and they're fighting. They're pissed off with each other, so they're kind of like, let's fucking do this, and then they come in, right? All these dudes come in and they're fucking, it's like Mad Max kind of fucking type thing. So Sabretooth comes out and then fucking, they were about to fight, and Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds says, wait. Fans have been waiting for this fight for fucking ever. We got to do it. So he starts pulling his swords out of fucking Wolverine. He's pulling all his swords. He's getting them all like kneaded up, like hooking them up. Like, oh, if we're going to do this, we're going to fucking do this, right? And then all of a sudden, they fucking run at each other. Shoom! Fucking, that was the end of it. Fucking Sabretooth died. Sabretooth just like died right then and there.
Yeah, just took his head off.
He took his fucking head right off, and that was the end of the fight, guy. Like it was.
Then the other X-Men was Pyro was there, yep. Toad was there.
Toad, from the original.
The chick from X2 that had like the fucking adamantium like fingers or whatever. Yeah, she was there. Dude, and then they all went to, like, you saw it in the trailer, their base was like a dead Ant-Man. Giant Man.
I saw the helmet, yeah. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
that was like their base of operation. But so some of the other characters that pop up later on in the film, bro, Elektra from Daredevil, Jennifer Garner.
Oh yeah,
showed up.
Yeah. And it's funny. It's funny because she fucking totally Ben Affleck. She totally calls him the fuck out guy on the fourth wall. Totally fucking calls him out.
I'm surprised there was no Affleck in that movie.
They looked at the camera and they were like, we had a Daredevil or something like that, Daredevil movie, and she like kind of looked at the fucking thing and. We won't get into that or something like that.
She sidebar. She does a little children's book called Mama Llama that my son really enjoyed growing up. So now every time
That's
I see
awesome.
Jennifer Garner in something, I'm like, oh, Mama Llama. So I'm like, wow, Mama Llama was in Deadpool.
Hey, speaking about that, right? You say that. And you know who's sponsoring the podcast today?
Is it fucking Mama Llama?
It's Mama Llama, guy. We got Mama Llama online. You know, and
Mama Llama.
Use promo code BeCool Wannabeez. Get 20% off.
20% off Mama Llama merch.
It's not gonna work.
Please don't go to fucking Amazon and fucking order Mama Llama and use that promo code. You will not get 25% off. Sorry, guys.
Well, I mean, you can. You totally can. You can do whatever you want. I'm just saying, Be Cool might not work.
We're just saying that promo code just might not work.
Yeah,
you
might ask for a different one. Okay, who else shows up?
I don't want to give the big one away, but Channing Tatum shows up as Gambit.
Yep.
That's not the big one? What the fuck?
That's not the big one.
That's not the biggest one of all.
That's not the big one. Wow. Full classic costume and everything.
Classic
purple with the V at the bottom, purple, the V at the top, the helmet kind of like the V at the top.
Nice.
Yeah, fucking totally classic.
Totally. And then dude,
the best one of all.
Up.
Just fucking finish it. Just
hold on.
It,
Who do you think? Who do you think?
Come on, yeah.
I'll give
You're
you three
edging
guesses.
the fuck out of me here. You know how many fucking Marvel characters there are, Justin?
Just
you want me to
finish
finish
him.
you off?
Just finish.
Please.
Hold on your
I'm
pants. Let
begging
me finish
you.
you off, guy. I've been fucking rubbing it over your fucking pants this whole time.
Just do it already. Just do it.
Dude, Wesley Snipes' blade shows up.
Ah! Oh, that's pretty cool. That's actually really dope. I love that.
He walked out and like the entire
How
audience,
old is Wesley Snipes?
I don't know, but he looked great, dude.
Did he?
He looked
That's
great.
cool.
He had he just had the suit. He had the suit. He was like, he just fucking killed. He fucking absolutely killed it. Like they killed off. I think this is like I said it a couple of times in this podcast, but it totally does reset the fucking MCU. Like it puts it in a place. This movie puts it in a place where they acknowledge the artistry and the this was that, right? We had that.
Pay the dues.
We're gonna pay. They're paying that. They paid the dues. They said their thank yous. This movie is kind of like a thank you to.
It's a send off to all those fucking movies.
All of it.
All the X-Men's.
They could just kind of reset this whole situation.
But dude, it was like, and Wesley Snipes they were on their way to battle, and they were like making a joke. They were like talking about other characters, other people that had shown up in the void. And they're like, Punisher was here, but he didn't, he fucking died. And Deadpool's like, which Punisher? There's been like 4 of them. And then, dude, Wesley Snipes standing on top of a Jeep with a bazooka goes, but there's only one blade, and there's only ever gonna be one blade. And then Deadpool just slowly turns and looks at the camera and doesn't say a fucking word.
Should we tell him? Should we tell him?
I was gonna say, yeah, that Marshall Ali one coming up looks pretty dope. He's cool.
Yeah, kind of like they don't know what's happening on 617 timeline. You know what I'm saying?
So like all those legacy characters, they had one big like fight scene with like all the other baddies, quote unquote, like Toad and like.
I love how they did Pyro. Like they brought
Pyro.
They don't only bring those characters back. They had the original people that fucking played them play them again in this movie. That's the craziest part about it,
dude. And like what they did with like Johnny Storm. They made the clear distinction between Johnny Storm and like Steve Rogers. Like Johnny Storm's is a jerk. Like he's a mouthy little asshole, and that's all Chris Evans was a mouthy little asshole the whole time he was on screen.
Oh, he had the accent and everything. He had the New York accent and everything. He totally was like
nice.
Like when he started talking, I'm like, yeah, that doesn't sound like Captain America. And when he was like flame on, I was like, oh, they're bringing that motherfucker back, guy. That's fucking awesome.
So fucking cool. And then the chemistry between Wolverine and Deadpool is everything that you would ever want it to be. Like it was so fucking awesome. There's an entire scene. You remember when this is a little inside for us. When we all went to Jersey. And do you remember when we were at the Tell 'em Steve Dave Town Studios and Get 'em was showing us like the car jujitsu stuff?
How could I forget? Dude,
there was a car jujitsu style fight scene with Wolverine and Deadpool. They were just going ham on each other inside this car. Like they were.
I bet that's all you could think about while you were watching that too.
Yeah, I was like, this reminds me of Get 'em.
Yeah, it's exactly what we think. Like they were crawling into the back and shit, and he's stabbing them in the fucking thing. Oh, you fucker!
Yeah,
and he was like, "Oh, you fucker!"
They were like tying each other up with the seatbelts and shit. It was awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude,
he really did the like around with the seatbelt? Did he do it? No.
Oh yeah. Fucking yeah.
The audience doesn't understand that. We were watching every video we watched. They went for like that same move. They would like pin him back into the opposite person's door and then grab the seatbelt behind him and just like yank it around their neck and try to strangle him out. Like that seemed to be the most effective tactic in this sport.
That's what they did. That's what they did.
That's awesome.
It made me think of Get 'em, and
wow.
it made me think of you guys, and I was just like, This is incredible. This is the best movie ever.
This is amazing.
They destroyed that car. There was blood everywhere. It was amazing. It was like probably the best fight scene in the entire movie. I'm not gonna lie.
Nice.
You call her Blind Al? Yeah, she's blind and she's called Al. She's Blind Al.
Yeah, you guys definitely sold me on it, but not that I needed to be sold on it. I definitely do want to watch it and did want to watch it, but I don't like doing those things without my wife Alyssa, and it's difficult with our son. He's not a movie theater kind of kid. He's 5 and nonverbal autistic, so he makes it very difficult for us to do normal people things like that. So when it comes to stuff like this, I'm like, you know what? Just lay it on me. I wanna get the experience somehow. So let's get it.
I did come a little bit in this movie. I did come a little bit in
you
my
cried.
pants a little bit.
You came.
Just a little pre-cum, guys. Just a little.
You used promo code Be Cool.
But dude, when Hugh Jackman put on the fucking mask, it worked so well.
Yeah.
Oh, he
It
full
did.
full mask with like the ears and shit.
Oh, he had the full suit, full
Nice.
full yellow.
I've seen him in the suit, but I have not seen him with the mask on.
Yeah, they haven't done any like official. There's like some toys and stuff that have the mask and stuff, but they did it so good. And like he had like the sleeves on the suit were ripped off, so he was like sleeveless. He had the mask, he had the yellow suit. Dude, it was fucking beautiful.
Nice.
Fucking beautiful.
Hey, how about at the end when he was shirtless, guy, and he came walking in the TVA guy? He's shirtless and he had the mask on, guy. I thought that little piece was so good though, because he's just like they just went through this thing and they're going back and he comes in, he's got the fucking mask on and he's shirtless,
and sweaty,
guy, like blew his
he's
shirt up,
glistening,
all sweaty. It's glistening in the fucking background. I just thought that was fucking funny as hell. Funny as hell. I definitely think we're gonna have to watch this movie multiple times to see like all of the things. I don't care anymore. I don't really care anymore because I've seen the movie. So now, I'm like John right now. Just give me the clips, guy. Give me the 10-second clips.
Yes.
Give me the takes on them. Give me the little Easter eggs in the background so I don't have to look for them.
Give me the O face.
Give me that O face, guy. Fucking milk me,
Yes,
baby.
yes.
Coffee, milk me.
Yes, coffee, milk me, please. That's a good title for this one. Coffee, milk me,
Coffee,
please.
milk me, please, Mama Llama.
Yeah. No, leave Mama out of this.
Give me that coffee milk, Mama Llama.
I don't think Jennifer Garner would be fucking too appreciative if she give us the milk,
Yeah.
Mama Llama.
No, yeah. Leave Mama Llama out of this.
We're corrupting Mama Llama now.
That's awesome.
I don't know about you fellas, but I'd say this about rounds it out. I mean, it was mostly a Deadpool Wolverine review pod.
I do want to finish it off. I wanted to get this in there. It's a very short thing. I want to talk about my Impractical Jokers experience.
Oh yeah. Have at it.
So, it was fucking awesome. I got to meet up with our friend Katiana. She came up to Maine with her friend Becca, I believe her name is. So, dude, it was awesome. It was so
nice.
much fun.
Aunt Akimbo.
Yeah, it was. So I drive to Bangor, and from here to Bangor, it's like an hour and a half. And I left around like 1. The first thing I do when I get to Bangor, I was like, I got some time to kill. Fuck it. There's a comic book store right across the street that I've gone to many times. And I'm like, fuck it, I'll go check it out. Maybe I'll find something cool. And like, we're all ants. The 3 of us are ants. We love Tell 'em Steve Dave. We're all 4-color demon fucking, people. But I walk in there and I'm wearing my 4-color demon vest like I'm always wearing. And like, it's kind of an empty store. There's like, two clerks working behind the counter. It's kind of quiet. Like I kind of walk in and I start looking through some books, and the guy behind the counter goes, "Hey man, do you know that guy Brian from that Practical Joke show?" And I like stopped. I stopped. I'm like,
Do you know Jesus H. Christ? The guy from the book from the beginning of time, he was just in here.
He was just here.
He was just right there.
You missed him. They go, we had a fucking celebrity in here. That fucking Brian guy from the Practical Joke Show. That's what he kept saying, the Practical Joke Show.
Justin, do you know where you are right now? You're in the very spot that fucking Brian came in just not 5 minutes ago.
That's what I was telling myself. That was my inner thoughts right there. It was Nick telling me, like, do you know where you should have been 5 minutes ago?
If there wasn't traffic, you could have seen fucking Q.
Dude, and what a great opportunity that would have been to meet Q on like a kind of a personal level. I'm wearing the vest in a comic book store. Like, that would have been my wet dream right there. Dude, I was so fucking beside myself. I can't even tell you. I just start going off on these clerks. I'm like, are you serious? Like, he was just here. Like, I'm in town to go see the show tonight. I had my cruise t-shirt on. So I showed him that, and I'm like, yeah, I'm here just for that. Like, I can't fucking believe him. He's like, yeah, he was just in here. He's so cool. I didn't know he was a comic book guy. He just started talking to us about Lobo and Batman and Superman. Like, I had no idea. This vest that I'm wearing, and I explained the whole 4-color demon thing, and like, it's just, it's a motorcycle club that he made for comic book fans. Like, you just need to see a picture of a motorcycle to join and be into comics. It's more about like the comics and like Tell 'em Steve Dave. And I told him what Tell 'em Steve Dave was. And like, I might as well have just been a sales guy right there for everything.
See, that's the thing is like, how do you work and or have worked in a comic shop and don't know what Tell 'em Steve Dave is just by knowing what Comic Book Men is?
They ain't good ones, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, so I laid down some knowledge on these motherfuckers. I'm like, matter of fact, like, Q has written a graphic novel called Metro, and like, I was like, you could go buy it online right now, and like, I was telling him how Q made an appearance in the Spider-Man Deadpool number 12.
You could pick it up and read it right now.
Dude, I literally bought it there while I was telling him about it.
That's awesome. Did you like pull it open and show him the picture of it?
I did.
Nice.
I did.
Oh, wow.
I asked him, like, do you happen to have, Deadpool Spider-Man number 12? He's like, yeah, I'll go get it from the back. It'll be a couple minutes. I'm like, okay, sweet. So he came out. I'm like, so Brian Quinn is actually in this book. And they're like, what?
Hey, you know this guy? Brian Quinn? Fucking from the Impracticals, Jokers, and they're like, yeah, I know the show. No, do you fucking know?
Do you know who that was right there?
Do you fucking know who this was right there with the presents you wear? Do you realize where you're at? You're in the sacred timeline right now, and fucking Q just came in the store, and you have no fucking clue what significance this is.
Yeah, they had no idea. They had no fucking idea.
You might have missed out on a really nice experience right there with meeting Q, but you gained another one where you like basically got to be like a gentleman, like in the square, like preaching your word. Come one, come all.
Come see the great Brian Quinn.
Tell him, Steve Dave.
It's funny you bring up that story, Justin, because you know who's sponsoring the podcast right now?
Oh my God! Shut up. No, don't say it.
Is it Brian Quinn?
No. It's actually the comic book store that had no fucking clue what
I'll give him a shout out because it's a great store. It's Top Shelf Comics and Collectibles in downtown Bangor, Maine. They're fucking great people. Go check them out.
Promo code be cool.
Promo code be fucking cool. Shut the fuck up. Right?
Dude,
buzz, motherfucker.
When I was there, guy, I'm not even like, I was so fucking bummed. He's like, yeah, you just missed him. He just walked out the door when you walked in. I'm like, are you like? I should have sped. I should have left earlier.
Man,
I should have camped out here. Dude, I was like fucking beating myself up. So I'm like, you stupid.
Push a lady down on your way out.
I should have just fucking booked it.
Move, bitch.
And apparently, him and Murr and a bunch of people from the IJ show, they were like at the local like state fair that was also going on in Bangor. So they were like taking pictures with people all day. And so like I was just, I can't believe I missed Q. So that was how the whole night started, was like that whole incident. So I was like already kind of fucking beside myself. I was like, motherfucker! Like, I was walking back to my car. I'm just like, son of a bitch! I'm like, fuck!
Where the fuck is the TVA and when you need them?
I know. If I could go back in time.
Where's that little
man.
phone fucking thing that can call up those portals, guy, and just go back fucking 10 minutes?
So I met up with Katiana and Becca. We had some food before the show, hung out. You know, she was able to sit next to me with her friend Becca, so that was cool. During the show, it was a tough crowd. I'm not gonna lie, it was a really tough crowd. It was sort of like, it definitely did not sell out. It was probably half at capacity, but dude, the crowd just wasn't into it.
That's all the best for you, I would imagine.
Dude, I was loving it. Like, there were people laughing and stuff, but like, you could just tell that there was like they just wanted them to be the Impractical Jokers that they see on TV.
Put a balloon on somebody.
Right, like I think that was the vibe. Because, like, they thought that they were just gonna start pulling pranks on each other on stage and stuff. Yeah. And that's not what they do. That's not what they do on the show. It's just like they're just telling stories and showing clips and whatever.
When's he gonna yell Larry?
Yeah.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
How close is it to the one that was on the ship?
It's the same exact show.
Same exact show. So they did the Benjamin stuff.
They did the Benjamin stuff.
Okay. All right. Cool.
They, it wasn't the same show. They didn't shock Sal on stage.
Okay.
They didn't.
Well, we got that.
Yeah,
then.
we got that. I saw that twice. That was really fuck cool. They did that at the first show in Bangor, and then I saw it on the cruise. But they didn't do it for this one.
Well, from what they're saying, I don't think we're going to get another live show for a couple of years now.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And so that's why I went out. I mean, I knew going in that it was probably going to be the same show that I saw on the cruise, but I didn't care. I just wanted to see him again. But then when Q saw me and Katiana at like front row with our Tell 'em Steve Dave gear on, I had the White Baron mask in my lap because I was gonna. I wanted him to sign it at the end of the show, and dude, as soon as he saw it, he lit right up. Like he's like, oh, ants, you know what I mean? That he kind of gave us like the little ant salute. He was waving at us. He pointed at my mask. He was like, "That's fucking awesome." He's like, "Hell yeah, fucking right, yeah." He was just giving us so much attention right there.
It was like when he had that gay moment with the drummer from Maroon 5.
And then when it came down to like, "Thank you for coming," they're closing up the show. Q walks off stage, grabs a Sharpie, comes back, and goes right up to the stage in front of Katiana and I. And was just like, come on, I'll sign some shit. Let's go. Come on. And Katiana and I ran right up to Q, and he took care of us. He was super fucking cool. He
That's
really
awesome,
went out of his
dude.
way.
I love
to, like,
Q.
Would you say, hey, Justin, would you say he coffee milked you?
He coffee milked me, and I called him the Mama Llama.
I want to apologize to Jennifer Garner at this moment.
And coffee milk.
And the coffee milk.
Something that really freaked me out, though, about that whole thing was, like, after we got our stuff signed, obviously, like, everybody stormed the stage. Like, and, dude, people were, like, having Q sign the weirdest shit. The weirdest. Like, people were taking off their flip-flops and shoes and having Q sign it. Signing, like, the back of their phones.
Termites.
yeah. They're like the termites. They're like the 1% termites, dude.
Yeah, they're just there to fucking be like, he's famous. Maybe he'll touch my shoe.
Yeah. Because it was an outside venue, so people were like sweating their balls off, ripping the shirts off of their back and handing it to Q to sign. And he was like, there weren't even like Impractical Joker shirts. There were like one of them was like a Chevy tank top. Like,
I can see him on Monday.
Random shit.
I can see him on Monday going to work. Guess what, guys? I got Q's signature from Practical Jokers, guy. What'd you get it on, guy? I don't know. It was my old wife beater. My flip flop. I got my flip flops. So I took my. You wouldn't even fucking believe it, guy. He took my flip flops off. He signed it, guy.
I am not even kidding. I will send you the pictures I took. I took a selfie of Katiana, myself, and her friend in front of the stage with Q. But you could also see like people handing him like slippers and flip flops and shoes, and like people
Hey,
were.
can you sign my mac and cheese box, guy? You know, I just had mac and cheese. Can you sign my mac and cheese box, guy?
You hear about Randy? He got his retainer signed by Joe Gatto.
People like throwing. Someone threw like a bra at fucking Sal or something. Like, dude, it was like the crowd was awful the entire show.
And then did nothing but want from them at the end.
Sign my shoe. Sign my fucking nasty shit. Like
Like they're Led Zeppelin.
yeah, it was so weird. Like I mean, I guess I can't say much because I also was like part of the crowd and I got Tell 'em Steve Dave stuff signed and like, but at least what I had signed and what I brought had something to do with the artist. You know what I mean? It wasn't just like garbage. Like it wasn't like a Reese's wrapper that I pulled out.
Not like the one you took out of the couch that Get 'em sleeps on.
Hey, whoa. We're making some allegations here, guy.
On Front Street now.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Hey, allegedly, we found a rapper.
I may allegedly have done something twice as creepy as half the stuff Get 'em does.
Hey, Johnny Law out there, if you're out there, call us up, please. Let us know. We need some. He may or may not took a rapper. All we want to know is that once they discard it, it's everybody's trash, correct? So it is what it is.
Johnny Law, if you hear this and you want to be on the pod, I think we need to discuss some things about the ethics and the legality of this Reese's wrapper.
What I was really looking for was a Blue Chew wrapper, and what I got was a Reese's wrapper.
Hey, Justin, speaking of that, Blue Chew, I'd like to. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Real quick, I just want to say thank you real quick to anybody who made it to this point of this specific podcast. I appreciate you all listening.
We're gonna have a lot more debauchery as the pod goes on.
Yeah, we're sorry about that too.
Sorry about all the things that is going to be said on this pod. Thank you for coming on the journey with us, learning about each other.
Yeah. This show was supposed to be. This specific episode was going to be like, we're going to introduce ourselves. We're going to and it was just like, how much milk could you drink?
Hey, you can learn a lot.
Justin, you know, we don't fucking start introducing anybody till 2 hours and 45 minutes. So
that's true.
Hang on. We will get to the point where we introduce ourselves and kind of like go through that storyline. But it's not the time yet.
Yeah, it's not this podcast.
If we wouldn't be Wannabeez if we didn't fucking like talk throughout the whole thing, and then all of a sudden, hey, by the way, it's John.
Yeah, John, tell me about yourself. We're about at the hour and a half mark. I want you to just give us like three fun facts about ourselves before we wrap it up.
Ooh,
fun fact.
Good call.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
You want to start, John?
No, I don't want to do that.
Right. Nick,
has anybody in any group ever liked that exercise?
Dude, this is my whole fucking identity. You're killing it, John.
Christ.
Jesus Christ, John.
What the fuck?
I'm sorry, yeah, go ahead.
We talked
Go
about
ahead,
this
please.
before the fucking podcast. We were supposed to. This
Yeah.
was all. The
Pick
whole
three things.
podcast. The whole situation was based.
All right, be cool. Be cool.
Be cool and shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
Be cool. Shut the fuck up. Buzz, motherfucker.
Bzz.